Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Molly Bird, and I mostly do miniatures on my channel. However, I am actually going to do other things as well, but the bulk of my channel will probably be about the miniatures. And today I'm going to show you one of the miniatures that I just received. It is a doll from Jenny Kelm, and she has done a lot of dolls for me, and she's from England. So I want to show you this one because it's hilarious and I absolutely love it. And I've been looking for a doll for the 1940s bathroom. And when she did these, I was like, I have to snag one up because she has several of them. But this lady has red hair and some have white hair. And look at her. She is holding she is holding a hair dryer with a plug at the end. And her hair is just going crazy, blowing it. I love this so much, and it goes with the 40s because the hair dryer, first of all, looks like a 1940s hair dryer. It's kind of like a Canon type of deal. And her outfit can go 1940s because it's red polka dots with red shoes, and she of course has red lipstick on, so it all goes very well. Isn't it a riot? So I will put in the descriptions a link to her shop, and her items are sold on Etsy, and they are so well done and just beautiful. And she is from over the pond, and considering her being all the way in England, she ships these out super fast, and they never stay in custom for very long, which is nice. And so they get here, gosh, within like the next week of ordering it. It's crazy how fast they actually arrive, and they're always safe because she's always careful at packaging. So this is my latest doll. And when I get the doll houses done and they're all upstairs, I will have, you know, all these dolls set up where they're supposed to be in the rooms. So in the future videos, you can see her in the bathroom. Now the other thing I want to show you today is my Alice in Wonderland book I just received, and I had gotten this on Amazon, and I wanted to get Alice Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll because I want it to be a book with both stories in it, since I'm going to be hosting a Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. If you hear my kitty in the background, he's playing, and that is Pip. But I'm going to be hosting an Alice in Wonderland book club in October, and I'm going to be doing things for it, and I will show you on this channel different items that I will be making for preparing for the book club, because it's going to be all themed with this, Alice in Wonderland. And this is a really nice book, though. I did get this one at Amazon. It's really nice when you can find the vintage ones, but this one's a brand new one. And on Etsy, they do have vintage ones, and you can actually probably find them on estate sales. I know my sister found a really gorgeous one and an estate sale that was from the 1960s. And this one, though, does have all the original illustrations. So every page will have the classic real illustrations that the actual artist had made. I don't think Lewis Carroll was the illustrator. I'll look that up and put it up here who the illustrator of the actual original book was. But you know, here's the caterpillar smoking his hookah, and almost every page has some illustration. It's, I think, called a cross-hatching technique. So it's little lines, and they cross-hatch the little lines to make the images. And the artists that did that did all this cross-hatching, as you can see in the illustrations. So basically, it's just little lines, and that's what gives it that look. See if I can find some more really neat ones that are bigger. I mean, this is another classic one with the egg and Humpty Dumpty, I guess it is. And I have not ever read Through the Looking Glass yet, that part of Alice in Wonderland. So I am really excited about finding out the real story of that. And obviously we all know Alice in Wonderland from Disney, but this is of course not that version. It's the one that's the Lewis Carroll version, but this is exciting to read too, because I really don't remember the first version of this as well, so I'm excited about it. And and it's just a really nice book. So I'll put in the descriptions a link to this book. It also has gilding here, gold, and it has a ribbon for the bookmark, so that's nice. And oh, look at, there's a kitty. Look at Pip, there's a kitty in here. And I'm so excited about that. And then this is just more something I just want to talk about, that if any of you have lost loved ones in your life, I was going to have a little talk about that, because my mom, you know, I lost her. I hate to say lost her. She's always with me. She's always with me. And so she's not really lost, but she had passed away from this earth 7, almost 8 years ago. And I'm talking about grieving, and I don't even like to call it grief. I just like to call it, I guess you could just say life-changing. It's life-changing when you lose your loved ones, especially people that you are super, super close to and that are like your best friends, or your, you know, my mom was like a best friend to me. And having her gone, I've never been able, obviously, to replace that friendship that I had with her, and I never will be able to. And it's just learning how to accept things and not to move on really, but just being that acceptance is really the only way I can recover or heal from grieving. Grieving is a really bad place to be stuck in, because it doesn't help anything. You have to go through that, believe me, I know, but you can't be stuck there, because you have to start living your life and enjoying life again. And they wouldn't want you stuck there. So the acceptance phase is probably the most healing phase once you've lost your parent or someone that in your life that you're really close to. Because that way you can reflect back on them and remembering the good times and with the good feelings, and not just, you know, with grief. And I just feel like life is all about changes. I don't care where you are in life. You're always going to have change, of course. And grieving is part of life, even if it's not about losing people in your life. It can be about pets too, of course. But it also is about life itself, losing your childhood. You know, that's a grieving process some people actually go through. I remember when I was 13, I was kind of grieving my childhood. I remember thinking, wow, I'm not going to be a kid anymore. I'm going to be a teenager, and I didn't like that. I wanted to stay a kid. I remember getting my first bra, and I was like, I have to wear one of these for the rest of my life. I just hated it. It just felt like I was trapped or something. And just all the things that go with puberty, and, you know, I remember just mourning my childhood. You know, I wanted to stay a kid and play and do kid things, play with my Barbie dolls, not even caring about boys really. And the girls in my life at the time were getting all giddy about boys. And I remember I didn't care about boys. I just wanted to play Barbies and do all the kids stuff I did before. So that was grieving. And then I remember going into my early adult years, really excited, have to start a family and to have children. And of course, that is a time too that I didn't personally grieve being a teenager, but I know people that were in their 20s. They were kind of grieving high school and being a teenager and fancy free that way, and not having to be, you know, supporting a family and all that stress. And they kind of mourned like, oh, I remember the good old days when I was a teenager and all I had to do is go to my summer job, or, you know, go to school and, you know, be with my friends though, and didn't really have really huge responsibilities like you get as an adult. And then when you are in your maybe 40s and you start grieving your 20s and 30s, and you're seeing your children are growing up, so you're grieving them being little. And then when you go into adulthood, more than that, like middle age, then you grieve your children leaving the nest and this whole new phase. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And I'm sure if I become an old lady someday and I'm in my 80s and 90s, I'll probably be grieving this time. So of course you want to live in the here and now, and you want to appreciate what you have now, because in the future you'll probably be kind of grieving where you're at now. But it just goes on and on until the passing of time, and then you are no longer here, of course. And I really believe we do go somewhere else. I don't know exactly where that is, but I do believe there's a reason we're here. And everyone calls that something different and their own belief system with that, or if you don't, that's fine too. But to make sense of it all, I have to believe there's a reason we're here. However, I'm not going to get into all of that, but I'm so excited about going back to Alice in Wonderland, because to me, life is a lot about Alice in Wonderland and how crazy it is, really, and all the things that happen in our life and the adventures, and good and bad, and we learn from some of them maybe you don't even learn from, you just move on from. But once I get in deeper into this book, I thought we could talk about that on my videos and how we can relate to that to our own lives. So I hope that you join me for further videos about Alice in Wonderland and about my miniatures and about my kitty cat and just other things that come up. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time.